All right, end of the season. End of the season questionnaire. Thursday at 4. We're going to get it. Whiteboard might get used. Whiteboard might not get used. We're going to start the losers questionnaire first. The first question was, why didn't you make the playoffs? Nick said Lamar Jackson's messed up ankle. Eric said, because my team was mediocre and I didn't set my lineup sometimes. Jabez says, because he's subpar at everything. That's not true, King. That's not true. Max said, I'm not open app. And I think that's the best summary of anybody's season that I've seen throughout this entire questionnaire. Because I don't think Max opened the app. Maybe twice. I even tried to get him to open it up. I was like, hey, Fantasy app has dark mode. And I thought that would bring him back for maybe a week. But no, he staunchly didn't open the app. Of the current playoff teams, who would you swap places with? This one, decidedly Trevor, over half the votes, which 2. The others getting votes was Tyler and Sean. Eric, I believe, said Sean. And Nick, I believe, said Tyler, which means Jabez and Max said Trevor. Next question for them was, who do you most want to win the league? Trevor received a vote from Nick. Gannon received a vote from Max. I received this many, 2 votes from Eric and Jabez. We'll go Jabez. The next question was, who do you least want to win the league? Decidedly, again, Trevor. 50% of the votes. Also receiving a vote was Shelby and Sean. Eric definitely said Sean. And I'm pretty sure Nick said Shelby. This is my favorite one. I'm actually going to draw the graph for this one because it's just so interesting. It's very interesting. The question was, who do you think will lose the league? Asked to those playing in the losers bracket. And every single one of them said themselves. This is how the graph looks. I could write names, but it's all the same. Everybody, I even checked who said who. Everybody said themselves. And I like the confidence there, Call your shots. Call your fucking shots. All right. Moving on to the winners bracket, the playoff questionnaire, the playoff survey. Their first question was, how would you best summarize your season? Tragic start is what Shelby said. Sean said, quite nice. Rest in peace, Derrick Henry. Literally a cheat code for 9 weeks of the year. The luckiest unlucky season that has ever happened before, which is me. My first 4 picks have just fucking exploded. Gannon said, mediocre by my own standards, but somehow pulled out the number 1 seed. Very competitive league this year. That's the point. That's why I made all these rule changes. The scoring changes. Disappointed, which was Tyler Faust. Trevor said sex and some rock and some roll. Aside from yourself, this is the next question, I'm sorry. Aside from yourself, who would you most want to win the league? Gannon received a vote from me, and then the rest of them were voted for me. So I have 4 votes. Gannon has 1. And then Trevor decided to not read the question again and vote for himself, which we all knew he would. So Trevor, his vote is invalid. Stop the count. Stop the count. Interesting to see that you guys want me to win the league. Maybe it's because I'm the least threatening. Maybe because I have the redemption arc this year. Who knows? I didn't vote for myself though. Who do you least want to win the league? Trevor took this one pretty heavily, with almost 70%. 4 votes for Trevor. We got a vote for Shelby from Trevor, and we have a vote for Gannon from Tyler. That I thought was pretty strange. You'll see why. You'll see why in a second here. Who doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs and why? Shelby said Trevor, he's annoying. Probably Tyler, but fuck Trevor, said Sean. Tyler, been outscored by every playoff team by a wide margin. That was me. Tyler, allowed more points than he scored, shaking my head. I mean, Tyler, LOL, look at my points for. That's Tyler. And Shelby, because slit between legs, which is just awesome to hear Trevor being sexist. It's good. Who are you most worried about playing? Shelby had half the votes here, mostly because of her win streak. Gannon took 2 votes, and Trevor had 1 vote. Reasons for being afraid of Gannon? Someone said he's in first. Sean said Shelby has an 8-game win streak. I said Shelby's who I play this week. Gannon said that Shelby's always performed well in the postseason and is on a 6-game win streak. Scary hours. Tyler said that super sweet Lamar trade really helped. About Gannon. And Trevor, voting for himself, said, I am my own worst enemy. Sleeping in his car's in the front yard. And the next question was, who are you least worried about playing? Tyler had 4 votes, Gannon had 1, and Sean had 1. Shelby's reason for choosing Tyler was IDK. Sean said Tyler's had 4 points all season. I said Gannon because I blame him if I beat Shelby. Gannon said Tyler, and it feels like his heart isn't in it. He's the Blazers right now. Tyler said himself because points for his week, team inconsistent. And Trevor said Sean because he says Sean has a neck beard. Moving on, next question is who's going to win it? I'm only going to address one answer here, and it was the Celtics because there's no other reason why, which took home 2/3 of the votes. Everyone else voted for themselves. Who gives a shit about them? The Celtics are the balls. Who will lose the league? Max took home 5 votes. Jabez took home 1. I think the one person who voted for Jabez was Gannon, which is interesting. It is kind of funny that Tyler Faust says, I don't want Gannon to win the league. And then Gannon comes out and says, hey, he's like the Blazers, which means his team's pretty sad. Other than that, though, Trevor throwing the entire survey. Thanks for participating. We'll probably have another one of these surveys towards the end of the playoffs, probably after the championship game, as a general, how do you think the season went? I'm going to draw you a nice little picture of Trevor real quick before we leave on this whiteboard so I can say I used it more than once. All right, boom. Boom. Oh, that's bad. Even by my standards. I hope he likes it. I hope you guys like it. It's very generous. Until next Thursday. See ya.